Greetings everyone, my name is Buck Business. Konnichiwa, I'm Kawaii Critic. And today we are here to review My Little Pony Season 8, Episode 17, The End Friend. Another bizarre entry into Season 8 of My Little Pony. So, we begin this episode with Starlight-san grabbing Rarity-san into Twilight-san's class, as she's teaching about the difference between two friends who are so different but are able to still be able to communicate. And it seems like everything is going hunky-dory up until the point where Silverstream-chan asks about what they plan to do next, in which they are unable to agree on anything. Thus, Gallus-kun asks the big question of how they even friends in the first place. Ooh. And in a bizarre twist, they go all weird and start questioning their own stuff. Indeed. Thus, they proceed to go to a buckball session in which Rarity gets distracted by doing some uniform stuff, and of course Rainbow gets upset. And they then do some fashion stuff in which Rainbow gets bored. They try to go to a cave to explore some gems and find some of them and stuff of that nature, but they continue to argue regardless. And all the while, Twilight had her class just look upon all this stuff that was going on. And then perhaps the most bizarre thing happens, where they both visit Starlight-san and visit previous episodes. This brings a pretty big question and probably the biggest problem with this entire plot. Rainbow-san has experienced Rarity-san's ability to investigate. They mention, not only do they mention in this episode, about, Rarity-san investigates, but, yeah, that would have probably been something to get over the whole mess that had started. But no, it somehow manages to only make things worse, which is one of the very few times I've seen continuity make things worse rather than either explore trying to make it better, like with Spiky-kun and Moltdown, for example, or something along those lines. But no, the continuity just ends up ruining the episode. Yes, indeed. It would seem that for whatever reason, it's almost like the immediate things they're saying right now to Starlight are immediately forgotten in the next scene, and moving the plot forward. I mean, there was the time that Rainbow saved Rarity when she had the whole wing thing going on. And again, there's Rainbow getting saved for her job. And again, there are a few other examples here and there. Rainbow accepting Rarity's outfits in previous episodes, but all of a sudden, now in this episode, it suddenly seems as if the suits aren't good enough all of a sudden. It just seems completely bizarre. Anyways, Starlight-san insists that they read each other's books. That being the investigation book, whatever, and then Rainbow-san's favorite book, one of the Daring Do books. But they don't read each other's books, and we first discovered that Rainbow-san didn't read her book, Rarity-san's book. So all of a sudden they go back to Twilight-san, and she says that this amulet that can apparently summon tsunamis has gone missing. So Rarity-san uses her clues, and Rainbow-san uses her ability to follow the tracks, and They eventually come upon this massive frog, in which Rarity-san uses her ability to first build a raft to get to that point, and then uses her quick accessories to mask this frog's apparent odor issue. From there, Rainbow's able to fly them up because of the path of these little crystal bits, lead them up to this locked door, which Rarity uses one of her boots as a key. And somehow, in some way, through this convoluted path, they actually end up back at the school, where Spakey-kun, Twilight-san, and Starlight-san are all there with the class. And Twilight-san goes on a bit about how, or it was either her or Starlight-san, either go on about how they both just needed a little bit of the nudge in the right direction. The students take their notes, and then the two of them decide that they're gonna hang out together and just head out. And again, Starlight-san once again reiterates that they just needed a little bit of a push. A little bit, that line at the very end, she says, was a little bit reminiscent, for at least for us, of the Joker from the Batman movie, The Dark Knight. Anyways, this episode's weird. Indeed. Once again, it just seems like they mention continuity, but then completely neglect it for the rest of the episode. And, yeah, it just seems a little bit out of place that these two would suddenly have this, sudden realization that they're suddenly so different, when really, their differences in previous episodes is what made them great friends to begin with, which again is brought up in this very episode, but is again immediately forgotten immediately after, which makes the whole thing a little bit baffling, to say the very least. But anyways, that is our review of this episode. Stick up, ting tong tori! And if you enjoyed this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, farewell. Bye-bye!